Military compensation is strongly competitive with civilian pay. That's according to the QRMC, a new report that just dropped from DoD. I'm Cory, and this is Jen, back on the Advocacy Update.
All right, QRMC is short for the Quadrennial Review of Military Compensation, and that's a mouthful, so what does it mean?
Well, first you got to say that 4 times fast, and then it really becomes a mouthful. The QRMC is something that DoD does every 4 years, quadrennially. And what that does, it takes a deep dive on anything compensation related that affects service members and their families.
Okay, so this is the 14th QRMC. What are the 2 top findings?
Yep, so the big findings are that pay is competitive, as we covered at the top. And they also recognize that non-cash compensation in forms of better healthcare access, higher quality housing, is something that MOAA has been touting for years, and the report recognized.
Yeah, and they dig into all of this stuff, which obviously should drive some recommendations. So even though the pay is competitive, what's a recommendation tied to? How do we increase that?
The QRMC takes a really nerdy dive at a lot of different topics, and one of them was the BH. We've been talking about this for years, the need to restore it back to 100%. What the report did was it looked at the calculation methodology for BAH. We've talked a lot about this and just the overall levels, but how it's calculated is just as important, because they have something that are called housing profiles that says you're an E5 with dependents, you should have this type of house. But that profile system doesn't always work. So it explores new options for how we might actually get after an effective rate for service members while making sure they have somewhere adequate and safe to live.
Yeah, and this QRMC actually looked at dual household income, which as a military spouse advocate, I was really pleased with. And one of the most alarming statistics that came out of it was that every PCS move results in a 14% decrease in spousal earnings, which is not only bad for the current situation as the cost of goods and services are going up, but also for your ability to save in the long term for your retirement.
And that hits on a key aspect of the report. It's interesting to have this data, but from our standpoint, we're looking at how does this drive advocacy. So the report is massive, and we're still taking our time to go through it, but that's what we're looking to do, is take this information and help advance our agenda.
If you want to learn more about the findings from the QRMC, make sure to take a look at Cory's article, which is linked in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week.